Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, SoulCalibur VI for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, I've been a big fan of the SoulCalibur franchise for many years, dating back to the original iteration of Soul Edge, which came out on the arcades and the original PlayStation. The amount of hours I spent, especially on 2, is ridiculous. And that was the game that really made me a fan of the franchise and really made me a Taki main player. Like, that was my main, and that's still my main. But before I get into the modes, I have to talk about the gameplay. SoulCalibur as a whole, not just 6, but as an entire franchise, is a weapons-based fighter. It is a game where each fighter has a specific style attached to whatever weapon they're utilizing. In the case of Taki, she has little knives, so she's a very close, short-range fighter. So you have to be very tactical and figuring out how to get in close to an opponent is the sure way to victory. Because she doesn't do that much damage, but if she can get in close, hit those combos, you can take out anyone with her lightning fast speed. On the opposite end of the spectrum is someone like Nightmare. His sword, and the same thing with Killick, are long range attackers. They like to keep you on the outside and ensure that wherever they hit you from, you will not be able to retaliate. One of the biggest changes when it comes to the overall gameplay is the addition of the reversal edge. The reversal edge is a action that can be completed by tapping the right bumper that will charge up, and it turns into something of a rock, paper, scissors action where, for example, if someone tries to go high, you go low, depending on what weapon you have as well, will be the determining factor of who wins this reversal edge battle. It's a nice little addition to the gameplay that at times can be a little abused by especially online players. It really comes down to understanding the ability, the effectiveness, the range of your character that you're playing with. It's one of those games that is easily accessible for fighting game novices, but for aficionados, for experts, for people that are fans of the franchise, we'll see just how much of a depth there is to any character you play with. Modes in this game are varied, yet very similar. Of course, you have your typical exhibitions. You can, of course, play with friends both online and offline. But the main single-player aspects of this game are the Soul Chronicle story mode, which pretty much reboots the entire narrative of the game and tells it through the eyes of certain characters, which allows the player to play through a variety of the characters on the roster. There's also the Libra of the Soul mode, which is very similar to the Weapon Master mode from SoulCalibur II, but with more story and lore. And add that to the fact that you can actually create your own fighter. In SoulCalibur VI, once again, you utilize a created character to go through this very visual novel-esque narrative where you not only fight random enemies, learn about the lore of this world, but also level up your weapons and design the character that you see fit in this very expansive, from what I can tell, lengthy mode addition that is strictly for single players. I think it's a great addition. I think it's very fun for those who are into that kind of style of gameplay. Online competition, very fun. It is exceptional when it comes to connectivity that I've experienced thus far. I had a little bit lag at the beginning, and then it kind of cleared out. The options for online competition are just casual and ranked. One of my biggest issues when it comes to casual is the fact that it's very similar to the King of the Hill mode from the Mortal Kombat X game. Instead of being, say, like King of Fighters 14, where you have a room full of people, and as long as there are 2 people on opposing sides, they match up. So you can have 6 people having 3 fights in one time. The only issue I have when it comes to matching, specifically in rank, is the fact that created fighters can be used in ranked. There are times where you will walk into a situation in ranked and have no idea what to fight against. You will have to adapt, and then sometimes you can't adapt because of the person having abilities and moves and weapons that are far beyond what you could have expected. I wish they could have kept created fighters simply to casual. So if you played any of the previous SoulCalibur games, I think you will thoroughly enjoy this. If you haven't, I still say give it a try. I think it's one of those games that you can easily pick up and play and enjoy. And even if it's not just for online competition, if it's for single player, there are definitely moments of just grandiose fun that can be had no matter who you're playing with, who you're playing against, what kind of mode you're partaking in. It is wall-to-wall fun, even if you get a ring out. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, with another video game first impressions. SoulCalibur VI for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, if you don't mind, I have to go fight some lizard men, or some undead soldiers, or possessed soldiers, or just some random crazy creative fighters. Because anytime I hit a reversal edge or hit my special attack, they have no choice but to cry out, "Oh Lordy!"